So later, if they are going for the second floor, this space will be used as a balcony space. From there, they can again see what's happening below like that. So again, another street view photograph showing how closely the buildings are arranged. Again, the first floor, Divan Kano. So from there we can see the street like this. So we can compare with the human scale here. So from the floor till the roof beam or the roof beam bottom level, they will be having this openings and all. So they will be having some god-like provisions so that a person, even if they stand, they won't fall off. Again, another street photograph. Now here we can see some gate-like thing. So through this, if we enter, we will be having a number of dwelling units here. Again, some wooden windows, we can see how it has been there. So this is a very ornamented treatment of that particular projections or projected balconies, what we call it as jarukas. So yes, the development of the Divan Kanu is what I have said earlier is like in the first floor that meeting room they have developed later that into the meeting space for the meetings they have used this space. Again, this will be overlooking the courtyard of that particular house. And this particular space they have started treating it very rich depending upon their status. They start treating this so the ceilings will be like elaborately carved. They will be having the patterns carved in it, and the floor they started using the different colored tiles and all, and they have used very extensive carpets and rugs. So all these things they started showing their richness in this particular space. Since this particular space deals with the outsiders, they want to show the status, so they started treating the space more rich. And the third stage development of this particular urban house or the North Gujarat urban house that lead to the development of the Haveli. So the third stage is nothing but they started this ortho, which is a single space in the last two stages. Now they have gone for the number of orthos like one to minimum 2 or 3 rooms we can start where they started using or started extending. So these rooms will be like for if the family extends, one son will be occupying one room and another son will be occupying one room. So like that, depending upon the extension of the family, they started extending the number of ordos. So depending upon the width of the ordo, the parcel width also will increase. The depth will be remaining the same. Only the width will increase along this axis. So additionally, what they started developing is in some of the houses, they started giving this puja room, and in some of the spaces, the chowk area will be elaborately developed, and they started giving this swing that is jula or whatever we call it as. So that will be a very common element in the later dwellings. So this is one particular example of the Haveli, Inamdar Haveli at Kapatganj. So again, we can see once we enter, we will be having a Katki room, and from this Katki room, we will be having a staircase which leads to the upper area of the Divan Kano. And once we enter inside, we can see this chowk area, and from this chowk area, here we can see the number of autos 1, 2, 3, and each auto they will be having a separate staircase and they will be having a separate kitchen like provision. So from this they can easily access each. So again they will be having a separate windows like that. So depending upon the extension of the family, they will extend this particular area. And apart from this, so this is that swing or hinge flat wooden board above 5 feet by 2, suspended by metal chains from a crossbeam above. So this became a very interesting and a very common element in the later developed Havelis. And also some interesting element is like usage of this wall pegs. So for in the like we can't see this depiction of horses in the Hindu mythology, but here for the first time we can see this depiction of horses in the terms of in as a symbolic peg-like thing they have started introducing here. And apart from that, one of the interesting feature is like the Yari Pavilion. So usually the men community, what they used to say in the evening times, they go to the terrace and they will be spending their time there. So for that, that particular thing, they started developing a pavilion in the terrace floor, and that will be occupied only by the male community during the evening and the night times. And also, one interesting feature here is they started developing this concealed chambers for the storage of valuable items. So whatever they procure, they want to store in a very safety way. So for that, they started introducing this chamber kind of provisions. So depending upon in each haveli, it varies. In some, it's like a small cupboard like provision that will be along the wall, or it will be fixed into the wall. Only the doors will be projecting out. So once we open in the below base, we can have a hidden sliding door like that, and once we open that, we will be having the space for the storage. So usually a common visitor cannot witness that. So that kind of provisions was there. In some of the havelis, they even had the underground chambers like provision. So they will be having some cupboard provisions in the rooms, and behind that cupboard, if we can witness some doors, hidden doors. So once we open the door, we can see the staircase leading to the underground chambers. So depending upon their requirement of storage, they use the different types. And this is one particular haveli, Amin Haveli. So this one example, again we can see. So some series of steps. We had a common veranda space, and from this veranda we will be having this front area. This is Katki room, and from this Katki room we will be having a chowk. And here what they have gone is like this area will be dedicated completely for the storage, and this will be the kitchen area, and this will be for the water storage. So like that they had divided. And in the opposite side they had provisions for the water storage, provisions. And also they had inbuilt toilets and all. Apart from that, next to the chowk, they have this common veranda for the ladies, that is this parcel. And behind that, the end of the dwelling unit will be having the outdoor rooms. So initially this house had approach from the northern side, and later what they did is like along this axis they given another entrance, and so this will be the secondary entry for this particular house. And even in some of the houses they have given a rear entry from the outdoor itself. So depending upon their need and some of the cultural influences, they have gone for some changes. And all these squares are like this wooden post, so reinforced wooden into the brick. So this is about the ground floor, and in the first floor they have this divan kanu. So divan kanu will be here, and this will be facing towards this street. And this will be the particular private spaces for the women or the inmates of the house. And this will be again another common visitor room like that. So if we climb the staircase, we can approach this space and this space. And in the second floor, they had a separate divan kano, and above that they had a roof pavilion. So this roof pavilion will be exclusively for the men community. Again, if we take the cross section, we can see how so this is one particular section that they had cantilevered. So this will be like a complete wooden beams, and supported by wooden struts. So they will be having a wooden projection like this. So this that pavilion cross section. And here one interesting detail is like this is that divan kano, and this is along the street. So here we can see the full height. So till this they have the opening, and that enlarged detail is here. So here they have some god like thing with the wood. So even if a person sits here, he have the visual contact of what's happening outside. And this will be shaded, so even if rain comes, it won't hit this area. And another interesting detail inside this is like they have slightly curved this particular area of this particular projection. So if even if a person stands here, according to his leg profile, this will be it is designed like that. And even if a person sits here, he can easily lean to this particular thing. So these kind of simple details or simple things they had developed out of their practice. And this is the interior of the particular Haveli. So we can see this courtyard space, and here some small system for the storage of water. And this is again here we can see this wooden lining, or this is like the what we saw in the first for the reinforcement. They have given wood, and that wood will also be elaborately decorated. And this is like wooden pillars enclosed within the wall. So they will be the projections will be elaborately detailed. So again we can see how intricately the wooden projections are detailed. Again some close view of that wooden detailing. So this kind of detailing shows how elaborately they have gone for the wooden carpentry and wooden detailing and all. Again this is the ceiling of the Divan Kano. So here again we can see how intricately detailed each and every spaces and each and every floral patterns and all. It is remarkable that despite all decorative refinements and changes of function, even in the most sophisticated residences, certain features in the urban Haveli retain their rural character. So even though there are some developments, even though there are some modifications, or even though there some sophistication was introduced, but the essential essence of the rural character remains same. So their culture, they were not ready to compromise even a single thing. So that remains same even this in this urban house. So till today this follows. Next we are going to see about the Saurashtrian community. In Saurashtrian community, the settlement pattern is like it's like a more formal arrangement of dwelling units, and again here also it is a row house kind of arrangement. So initially, how the dwelling unit will be is like once we enter, we will be having a common open space or a particular open space for this particular unit, and inside we will be having this as a built-up space. So this particular space is for the cattle. So these people had their occupation as a cattle rearing, so they want their cattle to be with them. So for that reason they have developed a unit like once we enter we will be having open space with cattle, and that will be followed by the dwelling unit. So this has only two stages of evolution initially. So once we enter, we will be having a cattle open space for cattle, and a small veranda space. And from that veranda, this space will be the auto, like what we saw in that North Gujarat. So this will be for the women community, and even the male also. They have to use the space. And the kitchen is like now they have kept in the veranda because the women will be engaged in cooking and they have to take care of the cattle. Men will be outside. They go all through the day and they will come back. So for that particular reason, to have a total control of what's happening here, they kept the kitchen here. And in the second stage what it has been transferred is like they have a small enclosed chamber like thing for the kitchen, and this will be having a common or open which let smoke out. And here they started giving some temporary ladders so that they can access the above loft area, or and later this was developed to the first floor like thing. So again this first floor they had that veranda space repeated. And again this is like now they want a symmetry kind of arrangement. So we can easily identify this type of dwelling unit, that is the Saurashtrian type of dwelling unit in any part of the Gujarat. So they will be having this common character as a tripartite division we used to say. So these two are like enclosed spaces, and this is like a balcony space. And next we are entering into the South Gujarat, and South Gujarat is like more like a northern Gujarat. But here what is the difference is like again they will be having a common wall sharing the they will be having the dwelling units sharing the common wall. And here is like what they have gone is like this: if we have a continuous row of houses, for example some 6 to 7 houses, they won't have the